In the forgotten outskirts of a remote town, nestled amidst a thicket of gnarled trees and mist-laden air, loomed the malevolent inheritance. It stood as a testament to the darkness that seeped through the fabric of reality, a decrepit mansion with its facade weathered by time and its windows like vacant eyes staring into the abyss. Legend whispered of the Macabre family, once the proud owners of the cursed estate. They were said to have delved into forbidden knowledge, their insatiable curiosity leading them down a path fraught with peril. Dark rituals and unholy incantations echoed within the halls of the mansion, as the Macabre sought to unlock the secrets of the otherworldly realms that lay beyond. But their arrogance proved to be their downfall. On a moonless night, a darkness unlike any other descended upon the mansion, consuming the Macabre family in its malevolent embrace. Their souls were twisted and tormented, forever bound to the cursed grounds they once called home. For decades, the malevolent inheritance remained abandoned, a blight upon the landscape that none dared to approach. Its walls bore witness to unspeakable horrors, and its corridors echoed with the anguished cries of the damned. However, fate had other plans for the malevolent inheritance, as it found itself thrust into the hands of the unsuspecting Jones family. The Joneses, having fallen on hard times, saw the mansion as a beacon of hope, a chance to start anew and leave their troubled past behind. With trembling excitement, they crossed the threshold of the malevolent inheritance, oblivious to the darkness that lurked within. At first, all seemed well. The mansion, though decrepit, exuded an eerie charm that drew the Jones family deeper into its grasp. They set about restoring the mansion to its former glory, unaware of the sinister forces that lay in wait. But as the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, the malevolent inheritance revealed its true nature. Strange occurrences plagued the family, subtle at first, but growing steadily more sinister with each passing day. It began with whispers in the dead of night, barely audible, but suffused with a palpable sense of malice. Doors would creak open of their own accord, revealing nothing but darkness beyond. Shadows danced along the walls, twisting and contorting into grotesque shapes that seemed to defy all reason. Sarah Jones, the youngest of the family, was the first to feel the weight of the malevolent inheritance's curse. She would wake in the dead of night, drenched in sweat, her screams piercing the silence as nightmares of unspeakable horrors clawed at her sanity. Her parents, Tom and Laura Jones, tried to reassure her, dismissing her fears as the product of an overactive imagination. But as the days passed, they too began to feel the oppressive weight of the mansion's malevolence. Tom, once a pillar of strength, found himself consumed by a madness that seemed to seep from the very walls of the mansion. He would spend hours in the attic, muttering incomprehensible incantations as he feverishly scribbled strange symbols onto scraps of paper. Laura, once the embodiment of maternal warmth, became a shell of her former self. She would wander the halls of the mansion in a daze, haunted by visions of the Macabre family whose tortured souls still lingered within its walls. Their eldest son, Michael, fared no better. He would vanish for days at a time, only to return with hollow eyes and a haunted expression, refusing to speak of where he had been or what he had seen. And through it all, the malevolent inheritance watched, its dark presence growing ever stronger as it fed on the fear and suffering of its unwitting inhabitants. Desperate for answers, the Jones family turned to the townsfolk for help, but their pleas fell on deaf ears. The townsfolk, too, knew the truth of the malevolent inheritance. They had seen its horrors firsthand and had long since abandoned hope of ever seeing it destroyed. Trapped within the mansion's suffocating embrace, the Jones family's sanity began to unravel. Their once unbreakable bond fractured under the weight of fear and despair, each member of the family succumbing to the darkness in their own way. Sarah, tormented by nightmares that seemed all too real, withdrew into herself, her once vibrant spirit fading like a dying ember. Tom, driven to madness by forces beyond his comprehension, became increasingly obsessed with unlocking the secrets of the malevolent inheritance, heedless of the toll it took on his mind and soul. Laura, once the beacon of maternal warmth and resilience, found herself ensnared in a web of terror woven by the malevolent inheritance. Every corner of the mansion seemed to whisper her name, echoing with the tormented cries of the Macabre family that still roamed its halls. She would often wake in the dead of night, her heart racing, her body drenched in a cold sweat, as visions of the Macabre family danced before her eyes. Their faces twisted in eternal agony, their eyes devoid of all warmth, haunted her every waking moment. Yet despite the overwhelming sense of dread that enveloped her, Laura clung to a sliver of hope. A hope that she and her family would find a way to break free from the clutches of the malevolent inheritance, to reclaim their lives from the darkness that threatened to consume them. But as the days stretched into weeks and the weeks into months, that hope began to wane. The malevolent inheritance seemed to grow stronger with each passing day, its grip on the Jones family tightening like the coils of a serpent. Laura's once unwavering resolve faltered as she witnessed the toll the mansion's malevolence took on her loved ones. Her husband, Tom, once a pillar of strength, descended into madness, his mind consumed by visions of ancient rituals and eldritch horrors. Their eldest son, Michael, became a shadow of his former self, his once vibrant spirit extinguished by the suffocating darkness that permeated the mansion. And Sarah, their youngest, bore the brunt of the malevolent inheritance's wrath, her nightmares growing more frequent and more vivid with each passing night. Desperate to protect her family, Laura searched for answers in the dusty tomes and forbidden texts that littered the mansion's library. She pored over ancient manuscripts, hoping to find a clue, a glimmer of hope that would lead them to salvation. But the deeper she delved into the secrets of the malevolent inheritance, the more she realized the futility of their plight. The mansion was a prison of their own making, a labyrinth of shadows and despair from which there was no escape. And so Laura was forced to confront the harsh reality of their situation. They were trapped within the malevolent inheritance, bound by chains forged from their own fear and despair. And as the darkness closed in around them, she knew that their only hope lay in finding a way to break free before it was too late. But with each passing day, that hope grew dimmer, until it was nothing more than a flickering candle in the face of an all-encompassing darkness. And as the malevolent inheritance tightened its grip, Laura could only cling to the hope that somehow, some way, they would find a way to escape its cursed embrace before it consumed them all. And so the Jones family found themselves ensnared within the labyrinthine corridors of the malevolent inheritance, their hopes of escape dwindling with each passing day. The mansion, once a symbol of opportunity and renewal, had become a prison from which there seemed to be no escape. Laura, haunted by the tormented spirits of the Macabre family, bore the weight of their anguish upon her shoulders like a heavy burden. Every night she would find herself ensnared in a waking nightmare, her screams echoing through the halls as the malevolent presence of the mansion tightened its grip on her soul. Tom, driven to madness by forces beyond his comprehension, continued to obsessively carve strange symbols into the walls of the mansion's attic, his mind unraveling with each passing day. His once clear eyes now gleamed with a manic fervor as he muttered incomprehensible incantations in a language long forgotten. Michael, the eldest son, had all but disappeared within the mansion's labyrinth of shadows, his presence reduced to fleeting glimpses in the darkness. When he did emerge, his eyes held a haunted emptiness, as if he had glimpsed into the abyss and found only oblivion staring back. And Sarah, the youngest and most vulnerable of them all, bore the brunt of the malevolent inheritance's wrath. Night after night, she was visited by visions of unspeakable horror, her mind tormented by the twisted whispers of the mansion's malevolent inhabitants. Desperate for a way out, Laura scoured the mansion for any sign of escape, her every step haunted by the whispers of the damned. But no matter where she turned, she found only dead ends and despair, the mansion's cursed confines closing in around her like a vice. Outside the quaint town of Ravenswood, nestled amidst the dense canopy of ancient trees and shrouded in an eerie mist, stood the malevolent inheritance. Its towering spires reached towards the heavens like skeletal fingers, casting ominous shadows that seemed to stretch endlessly across the desolate landscape. The mansion's once grand facade was now weathered and worn, its windows shattered and its walls crumbling with age. But despite its dilapidated appearance, the estate exuded an aura of malevolence that sent shivers down the spines of all who dared to gaze upon it. The townsfolk whispered tales of the cursed estate, their voices hushed in fear and superstition. They spoke of the dark history that shrouded the malevolent inheritance, of the countless souls that had been claimed by its sinister embrace. Legends told of the tragic fate of the Jones family, who had once dwelled within its cursed confines. Their anguished cries were said to echo through the halls of the mansion, a haunting melody that served as a grim reminder of the horrors that lurked within. But despite the warnings and the ominous tales that surrounded it, there were those who dared to venture near the malevolent inheritance. Foolhardy adventurers and thrill-seekers, drawn by the allure of the unknown, sought to unravel the mysteries that lay within its walls. They spoke of strange phenomena and unexplainable occurrences, of whispers that seemed to emanate from the very air itself, and shadows that moved with a life of their own. Yet none who entered the malevolent inheritance ever returned, their fates forever sealed within its cursed confines. For within its labyrinthine halls, time seemed to stand still, and the boundaries between the living and the dead blurred into obscurity. The souls of the damned wandered its corridors endlessly, their tormented wails echoing for eternity as a chilling testament to the darkness that dwelled within us all. And so, the malevolent inheritance stood as a silent sentinel, its secrets guarded by the restless spirits that called it home. To the townsfolk of Ravenswood, it served as a grim reminder of the perils that lurked beyond the realm of mortal understanding. For in the heart of the cursed estate, the line between reality and nightmare faded into oblivion, leaving only the chilling embrace of darkness to reign supreme. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, share, and subscribe to our channel for more video.